Hello, today we're going to be making jalapeno popper muffins, and they aren't sourdough, but I'm going to make them sourdough. I did it a couple weeks ago because I didn't know how to make something sourdough, and I tried it and it turned out pretty good, so I'm going to make the recipe today. So to start off, you need 2.5 cups of flour, but when you're including sourdough, like say you want to do 100 grams of sourdough in it, which like most recipes I do call for anywhere from like, I don't know, well, depending what you're making, 45 grams to maybe like 150 grams of sourdough. So for this recipe, I decided I'm gonna do 100 grams. So the scale, I'm gonna zero it out right now with the 2.5 cups of flour on. So what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna take out 50 grams of wet stuff and 50 grams of dry stuff to make up for that sourdough. So I'm gonna do it until the scale hits -50. So if you don't have a scale and you wanted to make this recipe, instead of 2.5 cups of flour, it looks like you'll be doing actually just a little less than 2 cups of flour. So there's minus the 50 grams of flour. Next up, you're gonna do 1 tablespoon of baking powder. So 1 tablespoon of baking powder, seems like so much. And this is just a selection baking powder. And then you want 1 teaspoon of salt, and I'm using the salt that I always use, which is just a sea salt. Then you want a 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder, as well as a 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder. My garlic powder always stays like so soft, aka just in its garlic powder form. Taste that powder in the air. But then my onion powder, every time, it ends up clumpy. Like this whole thing is a clump. What do I do? And I have another pack of onion powder in my powder, in my spice component, spice drawer, whatever. And that one's just as clumpy. So I got the powdery stuff so it won't be too clumpy when I mix it. And then you're gonna wanna throw in 1 jalapeno. So I already have my jalapenos cut up. So there's our, get in there sucker, 1 jalapeno. Whew, she's spicy. I'm just gonna stir this together. I guess I could turn the scale off for now. Then you want 1 2/3 cups of cheese. So I just have my cheese already grated. This is Gouda cheese. So I'm gonna do the 1 cup, and then the 2/3 cups is actually, what's that cheese called? Parm. So the 2/3 is supposed to be Parm, but I just do all Gouda. So 1 2/3 cups of cheese, or 1 cup of whatever cheese you want to do, plus 2/3 cups of Parm. Just gonna mix that together. Oh, Freddy. So now this is our wet bowl. So you want 1 cup of milk minus 50 grams. So I'm just going to be using Earth's Own almond milk unsweetened vanilla. So we'll do the cup, and I'm gonna zero out that scale, and then I wanna take out 50 grams. So there we are at 50. And then you want to add 1 egg. I thought my phone was going off, but it's just my cat snoring, because that's normal. Let me clarify, the cat is snoring while sitting watching me. He's not asleep snoring. Nobody cares about him, I know, but there he is. Hi, Freddy, say hi. Can you hear him snore? This is granola I'm cooking later. I just have it sitting there because the oven's going. My sister said, there's too much of your cat in the video a long time ago, so I took that to heart. Not everybody wants to see Freddy. Don't understand why, but I guess that's the rumor. So we're gonna throw in 1/2 cup of sour cream, and I tend to use lactose-free products. As you can tell, don't ever take any of my advice seriously on this YouTube videos, because I don't know what I'm doing. I just do what I do and I don't know the reasons for it. So we have in our 1/2 cup of sour cream, our lactose-free sour cream. Can I just say, it is life-changing going from vegan products to lactose-free. So this is Gailey Family Farms sour cream, lactose-free. Doesn't matter, because you might be in a different country and you can't find that. And then, ooh, I forgot all about this. Next step is 4 tablespoons of melted butter. It's not that melted, but that's okay. I'm just gonna stir it up. You want it melted and cooled, so we'll just pretend that it being partially melted is melted and cooled. Same diff, whatever, Trevor. I'm the worst stirrer. This is why I think having a KitchenAid would be sick for so many reasons, but I just can't get behind that life. Taking up too much of my counter space, you know? So now you're gonna take your wet, put it in the dry, and mix it up. And what's really hard, whenever I'm cooking or baking, I love to have music on, or sometimes I'll set up my tablet and just throw a show on. I like noise. I should probably have less noise in my life, but I really enjoy noise. So when I'm doing this, I can't have any noise except for my own voice. And whew, I know how people feel about that. Not everybody wants to listen to me talk, but I can self-talk a lot. I'm realizing I sure do know how to fill the silence when it's just me and my cat. And I think Freddie likes it. Right, Freddie? Oh, he blinked at me. I think that means yes in cat code. Okay, so don't overmix as I'm probably overmixing this. No floury parts, check. We're good to go. So now you're gonna take out a 1/4 cup of the batter. And I don't feel like dirtying a 1/4 cup because then I just have to clean it. So I'm just gonna try to fill up half of the 1/2 cup. And I'm gonna throw it in here. What am I missing right now? Nothing. Okay, no, don't throw it in there. You got your 1/4 cup, set it aside. Everything is all right. Your next move is you're gonna take your cream cheese. Surprise, surprise, I got some lactose-free original cream cheese product, Philadelphia. You need 8 ounces, 227 grams. Does that equal 8 ounces? I don't know. And there's no turning back now because I don't want to go to the store if it doesn't. So we're going to go with it. So you're going to put it in a bowl. I don't love doing dishes, so I'm just putting it in this bowl. And you're going to get your beaters and beat this sucker for, I don't know. Well, I'm going to turn off the camera. I guess I could let you know when I come back. But you just want it till it's kind of like nice and whipped, I guess. My mom got them for me. I love the color. It's a nice blue. Why does anybody care about the beaters? They probably don't. So last time, because I'm a ding dong, I tried to do it with like a whipping cream beater. When you have cold cream cheese, which it's supposed to be room temperature, and of course I didn't think ahead, it's very hard to whip. So, you know, just wasn't working. So I'm using these guys. I'm gonna go whip it and I'll be back. Did anybody else notice when I put my beaters in that they were in the totally wrong hole? So when I started beating, they just flew out at me. That's cool. Oh, here's my dehydrated oranges. I just saved a couple. I've been working on them since like 9 this morning, kind of trying to dehydrate them at the lowest temperature. So you have your 8 ounces of cream cheese, nice and whipped. And the next step is to take the 4th cup of batter and you're gonna throw it in here. And then you're gonna add a whole jalapeno in. So the whole recipe calls for 2 jalapenos, but I do 3 because I like to put little rounds on the top because I think it's cute. And because sometimes jalapenos aren't spicy, sometimes they are. I wonder if there's a way to tell if a jalapeno is spicy or not, like if there's a giveaway. People always like think that, well, not think, there probably is, that there's a way to tell how a watermelon is like ripe and ready and good, or like fruits like that where it's not obvious to me. Like knock in and listening to it and looking at certain things. So I'm sure there must be some way to know if a jalapeno is spicy. So because it's sourdough, and oh my gosh, I didn't add the sourdough. Thank God I said that out loud. Katie, so I fed it this morning. She's nice and she's bubbly. Throw 100 grams in. Oopsies, that was a little more than 100, but that's okay. Just gonna set that aside. I'm so silly. I'm glad I talk out loud sometimes because if I wasn't doing this on camera, I don't know if I would have ever remembered that I didn't add it. Now we're gonna hopefully not overmix it. So because it is sourdough, what I did last time is I let this sit in the fridge the whole entire night and then I made it in the morning. But just because I kind of want to go over this right now, I'm gonna do this so you could see. So I'm gonna take a tablespoon of the batter and put it in the bottom of each cup. And I love this cupcake tin, which you might already know if you've watched any of my other videos. It's just really great. You don't need to use liners and they pop right out. Is silicone bad for you or good for you? I don't know. Now we're gonna get this and we're gonna do a tablespoon. Well, this guy looked kind of sad. Get on in there, sucker. And we're gonna do a tablespoon of the filling. So the feedback for these was pretty good, I think. Watch, somebody I gave it to is watching. They're like, actually, I hated it, Katie. That's fine. But I felt they were a lot yummier when they were warm because by the time I brought them to the school, they had cooled. Too cool for school. I'm gonna use a spatula just to get the rest out. Waste not, want not, or whatever. Get down there. Last step, we are going to, well, I guess you still have to cook it. Shoot! I don't know how long you cook it for. Whatever, we'll figure that out. You're just gonna use the rest of the dough and put it on top. So I'm actually going to, and I don't know if this is normal or not, let them sit in their cups overnight because I do want to have it sit overnight and then I'll cook it in the morning. I just want the sourdough to get in there a bit, ferment a bit, make its magic happen. Okay, we got them all covered. Some pretty big gaps in there. Settle down now. So all I'm doing is taking some jalapeno rounds and I'm gonna place them on top so they just look a little cuter. I tried to cut up 2 for each. And then I'm going to sprinkle it with cheese on the top. I just like the way it looks. And also, then it's obvious, you know, that there's jalapenos in it because not everybody loves a jalapeno. So there's no getting around that. You know, there's jalapenos in this jalapeno popper, cream cheese filled, surprised, whatever. And then I'm just gonna take the Gouda cheese and I'm gonna sprinkle it on top. You can do your parm. Maybe that's what the parm is for. Good thing I put the real recipe up because you shouldn't listen to what I'm doing because I don't really thoroughly read it, obviously. I don't know what that noise is. Kind of sounds like it's coming from behind me, like the fridge, but didn't know the fridge made that noise. So here it is. Not cooked yet, obviously. So I'm gonna put some saran wrap on it. I'm gonna pop it in the fridge overnight so it could work its magic just a little bit, and then I'm gonna cook it. Oh, come on. I'm gonna cook it in the morning, 375, 20 to 25 minutes, and I'll show you how they turn out in the morning. I hope I remember. So I'm actually back early. I decided to make them tonight just because tomorrow I'm a little bit busy in the morning, so I did them tonight. So I did it at the 375, and it was for 20 to 25 minutes, I believe. And I ended up doing like almost 30. I think it was just a little bit longer because I had them in the fridge beforehand, so they were colder. That's real hot because it just came out of the oven. Forgot. So here they are. That's how they turned out. See if we could take one out and open it up for you. Ooh, that one got real flat. I don't know what happened to him. Sometimes for this, I tried to take the ugliest one. It's so hot. So here it is. You can see the cream cheese sneaking out there. Maybe it will give it a little cut. Do you even care what it looks like? I don't know. Do you even care to see it cut open? You never know what the people like. Okay, here she is cut. Steaming Willy Beeman. I don't know. That's about all I got to show you, I guess. And hopefully that made sense about how I made it into a sourdough recipe instead. Just take out the wet and dry and sub it with sourdough. Or you could just Google it. That's what I did. Thanks for watching.